Hey friends, and welcome to Cascade Crochet. So I actually have a few exciting things to share with you. I know that it's only been 2 days since my last upload, but okay, so I've done my first streams on Twitch. I did 2 streams, so one on crochet and one just a gaming sort of letting off steam kind of stream. And yeah, I got like a lot of followers, a lot of views, so it was really cool. So I do invite you to come along and have a watch, whether or not you want to watch one of the crochet streams or you just want to watch me blowing off some steam, playing some video games. So I started a brand new character for the WoW account, so we're going to see how that goes. So that was the first exciting thing. The second exciting thing, I ordered some yarn from Hobby just before Christmas. It was as a Christmas present from my mum, because she normally just sends me some money because she knows that I will want to pick yarn. So I got a couple of balls of butterfly. So this color basically goes from this bright yellow all the way through pink, purple, and blue, and it's gorgeous. And I think there's like a really pale green, like somewhere right in the middle. Every time I go to get it, it's always sold out in this particular color, and this particular color is the color that I want, because while I'm not a big wearer of, one or two colors, rainbows, you can get me in rainbows like anytime you want. So it's 500 meters per ball. It feels really similar to the Dolce cashmere actually that they have. So if you're on a budget and you want something that is similar to the cashmere but doesn't carry the $60 USD price tag, try out some butterfly. As well as that, so I got 2 balls of that, so 1,000 meters, and a Sultan Deluxe Shine in this beautiful green gradient, which is perfect, and I'll finally make myself something green. So yeah, I was looking forward to getting this, so got that, and a cute little tape measure. So those are 2 exciting things. The third exciting thing happened today. I finally finished my 3rd iteration of my Parrots in Flight shawl, and it is in the color, it's a sheepy swirl in Nighttime Bubbles. That's the colorway. So I'm actually naming this Galah because it reminds me of galahs. And this particular colorway has a special significance to me, because my beautiful cat that passed away, his favorite thing of mine that I ever made was in this color gradient. So it was a corner to corner blanket. It had sort of the pink, the pale pink, then the light grey and the dark grey, and it had a little shine through it. And wherever that was in the house, he would find that and lay on it. So that blanket was buried with him, and now I have something to match. So I'm really excited about that. Probably get a little bit teary. I can hear Johan now in the other room, and he's stopping because he heard his name. We had our new couch delivered. It's another exciting thing. The couch we've had is, I think it's more than 15 years old, but the point is, whichever seat you sit on it, you're guaranteed to get at least one spring going up your butt. So new couch is coming. Johan thinks the couch belongs to him. He's already tried to rip the box open. This is of a 3-seater couch, so I don't know what's going through his mind, but cat things, let's just say cat things. Anyway, so I've shared all of the exciting life stuff that's happened. Now to get onto the actual topic of today's video. So I've gone through my list of topics, and I thought pattern testing might be a good one to go through, because it's like relatively quick. So you've taken the elements that we discussed in the writing a pattern video. So you should have like a Word document. You can change it to PDF like prior to sale, but at the moment you should have like a Word document or Open Office or whatever you're using, and you should have, you know, your photographs in that, and you know, it's a document that you can send to somebody to pattern test for you. I highly recommend like enlisting a couple of friends to do it. So if they're like, there might be, you know, friends that you know in real life or friends you've made online, like through crocheting communities. Just getting a couple of people to test out the pattern for you, and I highly recommend you doing another version of the pattern yourself. So in a different colorway, maybe in a completely different yarn. So if you're doing it for sport weight yarn, for example, which is what I do most of mine for, trying it out in a DK weight yarn, just to sort of see maybe the size difference, or even doing it in a lace weight yarn, which will take so much longer, which is why I just recommend sizing up the yarn, because then you can go, okay, then this is fine, I can stop. Just because as you reread the pattern, because you've written the pattern, so as you reread it, sort of certain things may pop out to you, sort of going, oh, I didn't really explain that properly there, because you have to keep in mind as well, it's been probably 50, 100 rows since you came right back to the start and actually practically started trying out that pattern. So I recommend you doing it as well. So being another pattern tester for yourself. That was not something that I did in my first round of pattern testing for my first pattern, and I actually do regret that, because when I went back and read it, the sort of the feedback that I'd gotten were things that I very quickly and easily picked up on myself. So, you know, basically you're running a semi-fresh eye over it, and that can help a lot. So yeah, so get, you know, one or two people. Some people might, you know, if you post a pattern online to one of your crafting groups, someone might say, you know, if you want to pattern test this, I'd be more than happy to do it. It's like, you know, it's like, can you do a turnaround within a couple of weeks? You know, you might give them, say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to do it. It depends on the size of the pattern as well. If you're doing something small, so say you've made a bag, you might say a week and a half turnaround. It really does sort of, the turnaround time does depend on your pattern and sort of what you're hoping to get out of the self-publishing schedule. So if you're like, okay, I really want to be published by X date, then you need to make sure that the pattern testing falls sort of probably at least a week before that, just so that you can go over the pattern again and make any changes, add any photos. Like I said, my first pattern, I didn't have as many photos as I really needed to, but now my patterns have a lot of photos. So, you know, if you sort of get to a point in my patterns where you're like, oh wait, what is that? You know, if you like flick to the next page, you'll see zoomed in photos of everything. So just keep that in mind. And when you get feedback on your patterns, just not to be discouraged, because people, remember we discussed that people learn in different ways. That's why we have all the photos in our patterns. So people might say, I didn't quite understand this, or I didn't quite understand that point. So when I discussed the pattern writing with you, I said that I made a note at the start of my pattern that says, when I say chain 3 and double crochet in the same stitch, I actually mean to do the double crochet in the turning stitch. That was something that wasn't clearly explained in my first pattern, and people were a bit confused. So it was really good to get that feedback. I'll admit, like when I first started getting feedback on it, I was just like, oh, like have I made like a huge mistake here? But it wasn't in the fact that I'd made mistakes, it was more in the fact that I just assumed that people were thinking about the pattern in the same way that I had been thinking about the pattern, which is a massive mistake. So I've learned from that, and that's why I expressed that in your pattern writing, you need to be sort of very specific and very clear and explain things to people, you know, that you might think is common sense, but you know, it might be that they're at different levels of crochet. They might have been crocheting for 10 years, they might have been crocheting for 1 year. You know, your pattern's going to go out to people who love the look of the pattern. They might look at it and say that it's intermediate and think, I mean, it says it's intermediate, but I think I can do it anyway. You need to keep that in mind. So pattern testing, so get a few people to do it. I recommend you doing a test pattern again yourself, just to pick up on any potential mistakes, and going through from your typed out notes rather than your written notes. That can be extremely helpful. So you're seeing what the other pattern testers are seeing, and giving a really clear time frame of when you need, I guess, the finished product or the feedback about the finished product by. So yeah, so those I guess are the key elements. I do recommend asking friends to do it if you can, just because, you know, especially if it's your first pattern, like that's going to be your baby, so getting feedback that may not always be what you want to hear, your friends will know how to phrase that in a way that's more gentle to you. So, you know, just keep that in mind. You can get random pattern testers, sort of however you like. You know, post on Reddit, post on your like on Facebook groups or the yarn groups, and they should all have people who, you know, literally jump at the chance to pattern test something, because it's always a really fun experience. Okay, so that's the pattern testing. Now on to today's lipstick. I'm going to be really lazy today. So I showed you the Hollyhock version of this Kat Von D vinyls. Now the color that I'm wearing at the moment, I'll zoom in. It's like a soft brown, like a very like a strong coffee with milk. It's called Blossom. It actually smells like a mocha latte. It's amazing. It's taking all of my self-control not to like just like lick it off casually, because I know that it's going to taste terrible. But the other two colors in the pack are the other two colors that I'm going to be reviewing for you today as well. So I thought, you know, why not get the whole pack done? It's just a cute little sample pack. Well, not sample, but you know, just a miniature versions, I guess. All right, so that's the nice lipstick. Honestly, I'm not a big brown lipstick fan, but like this, I don't know, it's got its own charm. I don't mind it terribly much. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.